Hello everyone, welcome to our compilation video. In case you missed any of the last 20 quizzes, you can catch up here or else you can simply revise. Let us begin. Ohm is a unit of measuring what? The correct answer is resistance. Ohm is defined as an electrical resistance between 2 points of a conductor when a constant potential difference of 1 volt applied to these points produces in the conductor a current of 1 ampere, the conductor not being the seat of any electromotive force. What is the cost sharing ratio of the Swaran Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, which was launched in 1999? The correct answer is center takes 75% of the burden and states take 25%. So SGSY was launched on April 1st, 1999. The objective is to bring the assisted Swarojgaris or people who work on their own above the poverty line by providing them with an income generating asset through bank credit and government subsidy. The scheme is being implemented on a 75:25 cost sharing of between the center and the states. Which of the following was the first country to introduce goods and services tax? The correct answer is France. France was the first country to implement GST in 1954. China adopted it in 1994 and India in 2017. The Financial Action Task Force is an intergovernmental body. What is the main purpose of this task force? The correct answer is to combat money laundering and terrorist finance. The Financial Action Task Force or FATF is an intergovernmental policy-making body that has a ministerial mandate to establish international standards for combating money laundering and terrorist financing. India joined it as its 34th member on June 2010. Which among the following bills make a passage for India to be a part of Financial Action Task Force? So we just learned what the Financial Action Task Force is, and India joined on June 2010, and the bill that allowed it was Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Act 2009. Which among the following are the three pillars of Basel II? The correct answer is minimum capital requirements, supervisory review, and market discipline. Basel II is an international business standard that requires financial institutions to maintain enough cash reserves to cover risks incurred by operations. The Basel Accords are a series of recommendations on banking laws and regulations issued by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. Which among the following surveys are conducted by the National Sample Survey Organization or NSSO? The correct answer is all of the above, that is Socioeconomic Surveys, Annual Survey of Industries and Agricultural Surveys. The National Sample Surveys Office is headed by a Director General who is responsible for conduct of large-scale sample surveys in diverse fields on all India basis. It also maintains a frame of urban area units for use in sample surveys in urban areas, along with collecting data on rural and urban prices, and it also plays a significant role in the improvement of crop statistics through supervision of the area enumeration and crop estimation service of the state agencies. India's Look East policy represents its effort to cultivate extensive economic and strategic relations with which of the following? The correct answer is nations of Southeast Asia. It is an effort to cultivate an extensive economic and strategic relation with the nations of Southeast Asia in order to bolster its standing as a regional power and a counterweight to the strategic influence of China. India has also been conducting joint naval exercises named SIMBEX since 1994 with which of the following countries? The correct answer is Singapore. It is an annual bilateral naval exercise conducted by Indian Navy and the Republic of Singapore Navy. Where is the local branch of International Social Security Association or ISSA South Asia in India? The correct answer is New Delhi. So this is an organization that brings together National Social Security Administration and agencies. It was founded in 1927 and now has more than 330 organizations in 158 countries. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and in India, it has its offices in New Delhi. The provision of extra liquidity to an illiquid but a presumably solvent bank by the central bank is performed by which of the following? The correct answer is lender of last resort. RBI is known as the lender of last resort because banks are supposed to meet their shortfalls of cash from other sources, and if the other sources don't meet the demand, then they approach RBI. Why Reserve Bank of India is called custodian of foreign balances of the country? The correct answer is because RBI maintains both gold and foreign currencies as reserves against note issues. Which among the following is defined by any reductions in private consumption or investment that occurs because of an increase in government spending? The correct answer is crowding out effect. In economics, crowding out is a phenomenon that occurs when increased government involvement in a sector of the market economy substantially affects the remainder of the market, either on supply or demand side of the market. The term rolling settlements is predominantly used in which of the following markets? The correct answer is capitals market. A capitals market is a financial market in which long-term debt or equity-backed securities are bought and sold. Capital markets channel the wealth of savers to those who can put it to long-term productive use. The excess of total expenditures over total receipts is known as budget deficit. In any given time period, the government's budget can be either in deficit or in surplus. A deficit occurs when the government spends more than it taxes, and a surplus occurs when a government taxes more than it spends. Which among the following is the correct definition of fiscal deficit? The correct answer is excess of total expenditure over total receipts less borrowings. So, a fiscal deficit occurs when a government's total expenditures exceed the revenue that it generates, excluding money from borrowings. Deficit differs from debt, which is an accumulation of yearly deficits. For which of the following purpose Rajamanar Committee was constituted? The correct answer is Center-State Fiscal Relations. A Center-State Relations Inquiry Committee was set up by then DMK government of Tamil Nadu on 2nd September 1969 under the chairmanship of Dr. P.V. Rajamanar to consider the entire question regarding relationship that should subsist between the centre and the states in a federal setup. Which among the following committee was constituted for monetary system? The correct answer is Chakravarti Committee. The Sukhamay Chakravarti Committee was formed in December 1982 under the chairmanship of Professor Sukhamay Chakravarti to assess the functioning of the Indian monetary system. Its goal was to improve monetary regulation, a feat that was hoped it would enable price stability. The committee, which submitted its report in April 1985, believed that price stability was essential for promoting growth and achieving other social objectives. Which of the following committee was related to foreign direct investment? The correct answer is N.K. Singh Committee. It was also known as the FRBM or the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Committee. It had submitted its 4-volume report on changes in 2013 in the FRBM Act to the Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. The 5-member committee was headed by N.K. Singh, who was a former Revenue and Expenditure Secretary and a former MP. Which of the following committee was constituted with a focus on disinvestment? The correct answer is G.V. Ramakrishna Committee. So disinvestment is a withdrawal or reduction of investment. The Dolex indicator is related to which of the following financial markets? The correct answer is Mumbai. Dolex depicts growth in the market value of the constituent stocks over the base period in both the stock prices and the foreign exchange variation. It calculates the index by taking the current and base market values in dollar terms. Which of the following is a correct full form of EBITDA? The correct answer is earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. So this is a measure of a company's operating performance. Essentially, it's a way to evaluate a company's performance without having to factor in financing decisions, accounting decisions or tax environments. SBI Gilts Limited primarily deals with which of the following? The correct answer is government securities. As per the FRBM Act 2003, which of the following year was set as a target to achieve zero revenue deficit? The correct answer is 2008 and 9. So this act of the Parliament of India was to institutionalize financial discipline, reduce India's fiscal deficit, improve macroeconomic management and the overall management of public funds by moving towards a balanced budget and strengthen fiscal prudence. National Housing Bank is a 100% subsidiary of which of the following banks? The correct answer is RBI. National Housing Bank, a wholly owned subsidiary of Reserve Bank of India, was set up on 9 July 1988 under the National Housing Bank Act 1987. It is an apex financial institution for housing. Which of the following is the foundation for many of the international treaties and organizations that currently shape the world after World War II? The correct answer is Atlantic Charter. The Atlantic Charter was a joint declaration released by the US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill on August 14, 1941, following a meeting of the two heads of state in Newfoundland. The Atlantic Charter provided a broad statement of US and British war aims. The Bermuda Conference, which was held on April 19, 1943, was an international conference between which of the following? The correct answer is United Kingdom and the United States. So this conference was an international conference held between April 19 and April 30, 1943 at Hamilton, Bermuda. The topic of discussion was the question of Jewish refugees who had been liberated by Allied forces and those who still remained in Nazi-occupied Europe. The only agreement made was that the war must be won against the Nazis. The Bank of Calcutta, which was founded on June 2, 1806 to fund General Wellesley's wars against Tipu Sultan and the Marathas, was renamed as Bank of Bengal on January 2, 1809. It is known today as State Bank of India. So the Bank of Calcutta is a precursor to the present State Bank of India. And it was the first bank in India and it was renamed the Bank of Bengal in 1809. Bogor Palace is located in which of the following countries? The correct answer is Indonesia. It is one of the 6 presidential palaces of Indonesia and is located in the city of Bogor, West Java. The palace is noted for its distinctive architectural and historical features as well as adjoining botanical gardens. Renminbi is the currency of which of the following countries? The correct answer is China. It is the official currency of the People's Republic of China. The yuan is the basic unit of the renminbi, but it is also used to refer to the Chinese currency generally, especially in international context, where Chinese yuan is widely used to refer to the renminbi. Which is the only state in India producing Muga silk? The correct answer is Assam. Muga silk is the product of the silkworm Antheria assamensis, endemic to Assam. The silk produced is known for its glossy, fine texture and durability. Which among the lines is a boundary between France and Germany? The correct answer is the Siegfried Line. This line, known in German as the West Wall, was a German defensive line built during the 1930s opposite the French Maginot Line. Kwashiorkor disease is caused by the deficiency of which of the following? The correct answer is proteins. Kwashiorkor is a severe form of malnutrition caused by a deficiency in dietary protein. The extreme lack of protein causes an osmotic imbalance in the gastrointestinal system, causing swelling of the gut diagnosed as an edema or retention of water. Which among the following virus is also called a hit and hide virus? The correct answer is RSV virus or respiratory syncytial virus. So this is a common and very contagious virus that infects the respiratory tract of most children before their second birthday. For most babies and young children, the infection causes nothing more than a cold. There was a single supercontinent called Gondwanaland in the Upper Paleozoic and Mesozoic era. India, along with which of the following were included in this supercontinent? So if you look at the image, you can see what it used to be previously and what the present day continents are. The correct answer here is Africa, South America, Australia. So according to Alfred Wegener, the entire landmass of the globe was together about 280 million years ago. It was termed as Pangaea, a supercontinent. The huge water body surrounding Pangaea was known as Panthalassa. From 280 to 150 million years ago, Pangaea was broken latitudinally into northern and southern parts known as Laurasia or Angara land and Gondwana land respectively. Gondwana included Antarctica, South America, Africa, Madagascar, Australia, New Guinea and New Zealand, as well as Arabia and the Indian subcontinent, which have now moved entirely into the northern hemisphere. Which among the following plateaus in India lie between Aravalli and Vindhya range? The correct answer is Malwa Plateau. Malwa is a historical region of west central India occupying a plateau of volcanic origin. Geologically, the Malwa Plateau generally refers to the volcanic upland north of the Vindhya range. Kudremukh National Park is located in which of the following states? The correct answer is Karnataka. Kudremukh is a mountain range and the name of a peak located in Chikmagalur district in Karnataka, India. It is also the name of a small hill station cum mining town situated near the mountain, about 48 kilometers from Kakala, around 20 kilometers from Kalasa. What can be the maximum strength of Lok Sabha in India? The correct answer is 552. The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 552 members, of which 530 are elected from states, 20 are elected from union territories, and 2 are nominated by President from Anglo-Indian community if the President feels that the community is not adequately represented in the House. Which of the following brings out the Citizens' Guide to Fight Corruption? The correct answer is Central Vigilance Commission. Central Vigilance Commission is an apex Indian governmental body created in 1964 to address governmental corruption. In 2003, the Parliament enacted a law conferring statutory status on the CVC. Which among the following is not included in Human Development Index? The correct answer is social inequality. The Human Development Index is a statistic composite index of life expectancy, education and per capita income indicators, which are used to rank countries into 4 tiers of human development. A country scores a higher HDI when the lifespan is higher, the education level is higher, and the GNI per capita is higher. GNI is your gross national income. Which among the following is incorrect regarding the chemical nature of diamond and graphite? The correct answer is both diamond and graphite are good conductors of electricity. So graphite is a good conductor of electricity, however, diamond is not. Which among the following is not a constituent of gobar gas? The correct answer is propane. Gobar gas or biogas comprises primarily of methane and carbon dioxide and may have small amounts of hydrogen sulfide, moisture and siloxanes. However, it does not have propane. Calcium is required in plants in the formation of which of the following? The correct answer is cell wall. So calcium ions are involved in many mechanisms, one major one being stabilization of cell wall structures. So all these properties originate from the tight binding of calcium ions to the pectins present in the cell wall. So it controls the activities of the cell wall enzymes as well. Which among the following is the right location of foramen magnum? The correct answer is the posterior region of skull. The foramen magnum, which is Latin for a great hole, is the large oval opening in the occipital bone of the skull in the humans and various other animals. It is one of the several oval or circular openings in the base of the skull. Where does the formation of urea take place in our body? The correct answer is liver. Urea is produced in the liver and is a metabolite or a breakdown product of amino acids. Ammonium ions are formed in the breakdown of amino acids. Some are used in the biosynthesis of nitrogen compounds. Excess ammonium ions are converted to urea. Which among the following controls the protein synthesis and heredity? The correct answer is genes. So, a protein is made from amino acid and they form a strand. These strands also form your DNA and RNA, which are the basic structures of our hereditary material. So when the DNA was transcribed into RNA, one base of the DNA corresponded to one base of RNA, and this one-to-one relation is used in translation of protein. So basically your genes also control the protein synthesis because protein is the base makeup of your genes. In which parts of the body glycogen is stored mainly? The correct answer is liver and muscles. In humans, glycogen is made and stored primarily in the cells of the liver and skeletal muscle. The amount of glycogen stored in the body, particularly within the muscles and liver, mostly depend on physical training, basal metabolic rate, and eating habits. Diseases of which among the following are included in the degenerative diseases? The correct answer is heart, joints, and nervous system. So degenerative disease is a result of continuous process based on degenerative cell changes affecting tissues or organs which will increasingly deteriorate over time. Normal bodily wear or lifestyle choices such as exercising or eating healthy may worsen degenerative diseases, but this depends on the disease itself. Which among the following is correct regarding hemophilia? The correct answer is the diseases carried by females and expressed by males. So hemophilia is an inherited bleeding disorder in which a person lacks or has low level of certain proteins called clotting factors, and as a result the blood doesn't clot properly. Clotting factor is a protein in blood that controls bleeding. If someone has hemophilia, they may bleed for a longer time after an injury than a normal person will. Hemophilia is quite rare. About 1 in 10,000 people are born with it. Efforts of which of the following scientists led the Government of India to set up Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostic? The correct answer is Dr. Lalji Singh. Director of the Center of Cellular and Molecular Biology or CCMB since 1998, Singh is best known for developing a unique way of DNA fingerprinting that has been accepted by Indian courts as valid in forensic evidence, paternity determination, and seed stock verification. This technique was used during the probe into Rajiv Gandhi murder case. This is a new technique promoted by the government to set up the Center for DNA fingerprinting and diagnostics for further exploration in the field. The first session of Constituent Assembly took place on which of the following dates? The correct answer is 9 to 23rd December 1946. So this took place in Constitutional Hall in New Delhi. Sachinananda Sinha was the first president of the Constituent Assembly. In the first meeting, the Assembly adopted an objective resolution which later became the preamble of the Constitution. Which part of the Indian Constitution deals with trade, commerce, and intercourse within the territories of India? The correct answer is Part 13. Part 13, Trade, Commerce, and Intercourse within the territory of India article, which is the main article that deals with these sort of things. Which among the following provisions of Indian Constitution have been taken from the Weimar Constitution of Germany? The correct answer is emergency and its effects on fundamental rights. Other borrowed ideas include the parliamentary form of government from the British Constitution, fundamental rights from the US Constitution, and directive principles of state policy from the Constitution of Ireland. Who was the interim president of First Constituent Assembly? The correct answer is Sachinananda Sinha. Sachinananda Sinha was an Indian lawyer, parliamentarian, and journalist. He was also a member of the Bihar Legislative Assembly. In 1946, he was named the interim president of the Constituent Assembly of India on 9 December 1946. He was replaced by Dr. Rajendra Prasad after indirect election on 11 December 1946. Which among the following Amendment Acts is also called a mini-constitution? Correct answer is 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. It is the most comprehensive amendment to the Constitution and carried out major changes, which is why it is known as the mini-constitution. Who was the first Chief Election Commissioner of India? The correct answer is Sukumar Sen. Sukumar Sen was an Indian civil servant who was the first Chief Election Commissioner of India, serving for 21st March 1950 to 19 December 1958. Under his leadership, the Election Commission successfully administered and oversaw independent India's first two general elections, between 1951 and 52 and in 1957. In a parliamentary system, which of the following sentences is correct? The correct answer is executive is responsible to the legislature. The Constitution of India states that the executive branch of the state, that is Council of Ministers, shall be collectively responsible to the legislature or House of the People. This implies that the Parliament should oversee the work of the government and hold it responsible for its actions and omissions. The Constitution of India was ordained by which of the following? The preamble starts with "We the people of India." So, the people of India, through their representatives in the Constituent Assembly, are the people in charge of the Constitution. So, the correct answer is the people of India through their representatives in the Constituent Assembly. In which of the following the basic aims and objectives of the Constitution are discussed? The correct answer is the preamble. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that sets out guidelines to guide people and to present the principles of the document and to indicate the source from which the ordinary document derives its authority, meaning, and the people. Which among the following formed the 22nd state of Indian Union? The correct answer is Sikkim. Sikkim emerged as India's 22nd state on 26th April 1975. The Sikkim State Day is observed on 16th May of every year because this was the day when the Chief Minister of Sikkim assumed office. Milind Panho is a Pali text which records discussions between Milind and Nagasena. Milinda was the correct answer is Indo-Greek ruler. The Milind Panha is a Buddhist text which dates from sometime between 100 BCE and 200 CE. It purports to record a dialogue between Buddhist sage Nagasena and the Indo-Greek king Menander I of Bactria, who reigned from Sajila. So he is known by the name Milind as well. The royal seal of Guptas bore the emblem of what? The correct answer is Garuda or eagle. The royal emblem used by the Gupta period was Garuda. Most people now realize that Rab's son was mistaken in identifying the central bird as peacock. So previously, a historian actually thought it was a peacock, but it turns out the mythical eagle Garuda, the dynastic symbol of the Guptas. Devi Chandragupta was a work of, correct answer B, Vishakadatta. Devi Chandragupta is an Indian Sanskrit language political drama attributed to Vishakadeva, who is generally identified as Vishakadatta. The complete text of the play is now lost, but its portions survive in the form of quotations in later works. Water spout is a tornado. So, tornadoes are more generally formed over land, but they also develop over water. Tornado over water is called a water spout, which is formed mostly in the tropics and subtropical areas. Which among the following is not a hot wind? The correct answer is Mistral. So Sirocco, Chinook, Lu, these are all hot winds. However, Mistral refers to the northerly or northwesterly cold wind experienced on the shores of the northwest Mediterranean, mainly around the Rhone Delta. On which of the following dates autumnal equinox occurs? The correct answer is September 23rd. The September equinox is the moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator heading southwards. Due to differences between the calendar year and the tropical year, the September equinox can occur at any time from 21st to 24th day of September, but generally it is 23rd September. Sudan is an example of which of the following types of climates? The correct answer is tropical continental. The definition of a tropical continental is a dry air mass formed over land in area close to the equator. An example of a tropical continental is a mass of warm air that forms over northern Mexico. Which among the following was highest velocity? So among these options, tornado has the highest velocity. It is a rapidly rotating column of air that is in contact with both the surface of the earth and a cumulonimbus cloud, or in rare cases, the base of a cumulus cloud. Nirmal Gram Puraskar is associated with which of the following? The correct answer is rural sanitation. So, Nirmal Gram Puraskar was a scheme launched by the Government of India in the year 2002 with the objective to promote rural sanitation, especially to eliminate the practice of open defecation and to reward Gram Panchayats, Panchayat Samitis and Zilla Panchayats, individuals and institutions for their sustained efforts towards achieving it. The incentive amount varies between 50,000 to rupees 50 lakh depending upon the population of the area. The first Garib Rath bound from where to where? The correct answer is Saharsa to Amritsar. The Garib Rath is a no-frills air-conditioned train started by Indian Railways in 2005 to provide subsidized price air-conditioned long-distance travel to passengers who could not afford standard fare of air-conditioned class in regular fare trains. In which of the following forts Jahangir Mahal is located? The correct answer is Agra Fort. Jahangir Mahal is located in Agra Fort, built by Akbar in Hindu design and was used by the Rajput wives of Akbar. He can be attributed for the firm establishment of Mughal rule in India in the later part of 16th century. Who was he? The correct answer is Bairam Khan. Bairam Khan was the appointed guardian for Akbar, and his most notable battle was the Second Battle of Panipat, which established the Mughal rule. Who among the following translated Baburnama from Chagatai to Persian? The correct answer is Abdul Rahim Khan-e-Khana. So Babur has written his biography Baburnama, which is also known as Tuske Babri. Babur and Jahangir are the only two emperors of Mughal Empire who wrote their own biography. Baburnama is also known to be the first true autobiography in the Islamic literature. It was written in Chagatai Turkic, which was Babur's mother tongue. It was translated into Persian by Abdul Rahim Khan-e-Khana. He was the son of Bairam Khan. After death of Bindusara, who among the following is considered to help Ashoka to capture the throne? The correct answer is Radhagupta. So Ashoka was not the royal prince who was designated for the throne, and in the Mauryan Empire, the throne belonged to the eldest son. However, Radhagupta, a minister of Bindusara, has said to have played a major role in him becoming the king. Who has initiated the slogan Inqilab Zindabad? The correct answer is Hasrat Mohani. Inqilab Zindabad, which translates to Long Live the Revolution, was a revolutionary chant during the British rule over India. It was coined by Maulana Hasrat Mohani. During which of the following events Indians got the earliest contact with Islam? The correct answer is with Arab merchants at the Malabar coast. Arab traders brought Islam to Malabar during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. This is the earliest evidence of Islam propagation in India. William Digby is known to write on which of the four aspects of India? The correct answer is famines in India. Digby was based in India during British Raj and witnessed several famines that devastated India, including a disastrous famine in Madras in the mid-1870s. He blamed British policies for fueling and exacerbating the famines, agitating for humanitarian aid from Europe to India. Indian Muslims were allotted reserved seats in the municipal and district boards, in the provincial councils, and in the imperial legislature. In which of the following acts? The correct answer is Government of India Act 1909. The Indian Council Act 1909, which is commonly known as the Morley Minto Reforms, was an act of Parliament of United Kingdom that brought about a limited increase in involvement of Indians in the governance of British India. Indian Muslims were allotted reserved seats in the municipal and district boards, in the provincial councils, and in the imperial legislature. In which of the following acts? Once again, it was the Government of India Act 1909. Which Buddhist council was held during the reign of Kanishka? The correct answer is the fourth council. The fourth Buddhist council was held at Kundalfana, Kashmir in 72 AD under the patronage of Kushan king Kanishka, and the president of this council was Vasumitra with Asvaghosa as his deputy. This council distinctly divided the Buddhism into two sects, Mahayana and Hinayana. Indravati hydroelectric project belongs to which state? The correct answer is Orissa. Indravati Dam is a gravity dam on the Indravati river, which is a tributary of Godavari, about 90 kilometers from Bhavanipatna in the state of Orissa in India. It is connected to the main Indravati reservoir via 4.32 kilometer long and 7 meter die-head raised tunnel designed for a discharge capacity of 210 cumecs and terminating in a surge shaft. Deepak Parekh Committee is related to which of the following? The correct answer is Infrastructure Financing. This high-level government committee on infrastructure was headed by Deepak Parekh and submitted the last part of its report in 2014. The committee consisted of Uday Kota, GMR Rao, Sanjay Reddy and top officials from LIC, SBI, ICICI and IDFC. Dengue, which is found in tropical and subtropical regions around the world, is a mosquito-borne disease and caused by a virus. Dengue fever is a mosquito-borne tropical disease caused by the dengue virus. Symptoms typically begin 3 to 14 days after the infection. This may include a high fever, headache, vomiting, muscle and joint pains, and a characteristic skin rash. Enterobius vermicularis, which affect the cecum and vermiform appendix, is commonly called pinworm. Pinworms are tiny, white thread-like worms that live in the rectum. The worms crawl out of the anus at night and lay their eggs on the nearby skin. Pinworms can be uncomfortable, but they do not cause diseases. World's highest hockey ground is located in Shilaru. The Shilaru Hockey Stadium is a hockey stadium located in Shilaru, Himachal Pradesh, India. This stadium is the world's highest altitude hockey stadium in the world at exactly 2,500 meters above sea level, and it's surrounded by Narakanda and Hatu Peak. A strategy that consists of concurrent buying and selling of equal or comparable securities from at least two markets in order to profit from the variation in their prices is called arbitrage. In economics and finance, arbitrage is the practice of taking advantage of a price difference between two or more markets, striking a combination of matching deals that capitalize upon the imbalance, the profit being the difference between the market prices. Which of the following concept aims to bring the most of the rural people in the net of financial and banking services? The correct answer is financial inclusion. Financial inclusion is where individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs that are delivered in a responsible and sustainable way. Financial inclusion is defined as the availability and equality of opportunities to access financial services. A mutual fund that invests in other mutual funds belonging to the same fund house or belonging to other fund houses is called fund of funds. A fund of funds is an investment strategy of holding a portfolio of other investment funds rather than investing directly in stocks, bonds, or other securities. This type of investing is often referred to as multi-manager investment. Which of the following is the first state or union territory to announce 100% financial inclusion in India? The correct answer is Pondicherry. Financial inclusion is where every strata of the society has equal opportunity to financial services. A debenture holder of a company is also its. The correct answer is creditor. Debenture holders have no rights to vote in the company's general meetings of shareholders, but they may have separate meetings or votes, for example, on changes to the rights attached to debentures. The interest paid to them is a charge against profit in the company's financial statements. Which among the following is true about deficit financing? The correct answer is public expenditure in excess of public revenue. When expenditures of a government are greater than its tax revenues, it creates a deficit in the government budget. So this implies a deficit financing. Devaluation of currency means the reduction in the value of currency vis-a-vis which of the following? The correct answer is the value of major internationally traded currencies of the world. In modern monetary policy, devaluation is an official lowering of the value of a country's currency within a fixed exchange rate system by which the monetary authority formally sets a new fixed rate with respect to a foreign's reference currency or currency basket. Whenever a currency is devaluated, what is the impact on prices? So there's no telling what the impact might be. However, there is a erratic fluctuation. So the correct answer is there is an erratic fluctuation in the prices. An excise duty is a charge on which of the following? The correct answer is production or sale of goods. According to Central Excise Act 1944 and the Central Excise Tariff Act 1985, every manufacturer of the goods in the country has to pay excise duty. Most of the products attract 16% excise duty, but in case of some products, it's more than that. It is opposite to custom duty, which is charged in international trade. Which of the following funds was established to provide assistance to cover the costs of retraining and redeployment of employees arising as a result of modernization, technology upgradation, and industrial restructuring? So basically a fund that is used to help employees who may lose their job or are unable to do their job because the technology has become different from what they are used to. The correct answer is National Renewal Fund. The Government of India had announced to establish a National Renewal Fund as a part of the slew of measures announced in New Industrial Policy of 1991. The fund was later established in February 1992 for a period of 10 years. The main objective was to provide a social safety net to the workers who are likely to be affected by technological upgradation and modernization in the Indian industry. Which among the following is a correct definition of currency drain? The correct answer is a currency drain is an increase in currency held outside the banks. A currency drain is an increase in currency held outside the banks, and it decreases the amount of money that banks can create from a given increase in monetary base because currency drains from their reserves and decreases the excess reserves available. In which year the Minimum Wage Act was enacted? The correct answer is 1948. An act to provide for fixing minimum rates of wages in certain employment is what the Minimum Wage Act was. The Minimum Wages Act 1948 is an act of Parliament concerning Indian labour law that sets the minimum wage that must be paid to skilled and unskilled labourers. Payment of wages below the minimum wage rate amounts to forced labour. So if you're not paying someone the minimum wage, then you're basically enslaving them. Which of the following is an apex financing agency for the institutions providing investment and production credit for promoting the various developmental activities in rural areas? The correct answer is NABARD. NABARD, or National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, is an apex developmental financial institution in India, headquartered at Mumbai with regional offices all over India. In 1982, the Rural Planning and Credit Cell, or RPCC, of Reserve Bank of India was merged in which of the following banks? Again, the correct answer is NABARD. NABARD replaced the Agricultural Credit Department and Rural Planning and Credit Cell of RBI and Agricultural Refinance and Development Corporation as well. It is one of the premier agencies to provide credit in rural areas. Which among the following is the apex organization of industrial finance in India? The correct answer is IDBI. The Industrial Development Bank of India was established in 1964 as an apex financial institution to provide credit and other financial facilities for the development of the fledgling Indian industry. It is headquartered in Mumbai. E-Chopal is a rural marketing network of which of the following? The correct answer is ITC Limited. E-Chopal is an e-government initiative formulated by the International Business Division of Indian Tobacco Company, or ITC-IBD, to sell agricultural products, home appliances and consumer goods. It protects farmers from the abuse of the agents. Open market operation by RBI are the part of its what? The correct answer is credit policy. Open market operations refers to the purchase and sale of government securities or GSECs by RBI from or to the market. The objectives of this operation is to adjust the rupee liquidity condition in the economy on a durable basis. When RBI sells government security in the markets, the banks purchase them. When the banks purchase government securities, they have a reduced ability to lend to the industrial houses or other commercial sector. This reduced surplus cash contracts the rupee liquidity and consequently credit creation or credit supply. When RBI purchases the securities, the commercial banks find them with more surplus cash and this would create more credit in the system. Thus, in the case of excess liquidity, RBI resorts to sale of GSECs to suck out rupee from the system. Similarly, when there is a liquidity crunch in the economy, RBI buys securities from the market, thereby releasing liquidity. This is how RBI can control the liquidity in the market. During which 5-year plan the Khadi and the Village Industries Commission was established? The correct answer is the second 5-year plan. So Khadi and the Village Industry Commission is a statutory body established under KVIC Act 1956. It is a statutory organization under the aegis of the Ministry of MSME, engaged in promoting and developing khadi and village industries for providing employment opportunities in the rural areas, thereby strengthening the rural economy. First NAM summit was held in which country? The correct answer is Cairo in 1964. NAM was founded in Belgrade in 1961 and was largely conceived by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, Indonesia's first President Sukarno, Egypt's second President Gamal Abdel Nasser, Ghana's first President Kwame Nkrumah, and Yugoslavia's President Josip Broz Tito. Which among the following is incorrect regarding midday meal scheme? So the correct answer here, or what is incorrect for midday meal scheme, is that it's a social sector program, which it's not. It is, however, a scheme that has a long history, especially in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. It is being run by Akshaya Patra Foundation and it started in 1959. All of these are true. The midday meal scheme involves provision of lunch free of cost to school children on all working days. Its key objectives include protecting children from classroom hunger, increasing school enrollment and attendance, improved socialization among children belonging to all castes, and addressing malnutrition and social empowerment through the provision of employment to women. The scheme has a long historical, especially in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, as we see in option B, and has been expanded to all parts of India after a landmark direction by the Supreme Court of India on November 28, 2001. Which among the following is correct regarding loan syndication? The correct answer is option B, more than one creditors coming together to provide single loan. So syndicated lending is a form of lending in which a group of lenders collectively extend a loan to a single borrower. The group of lenders is called a syndicate and the loan is called a syndicated loan. Which among the following is incorrect regarding the Indian depository receipts? The correct answer is that they are non-negotiable financial instruments. So this is not correct. They are in fact derivative instruments. They have shares as the underlying assets and they are negotiable financial instruments. So these three A, B, C, A, B, D are correct, whereas C is not. So global depository receipts and American depository receipts and Indian depository receipts all are negotiable instruments, which is why option C is incorrect. If a state government seeks help in reaching their targets or providing assistance to eligible institutions in agriculture and rural development, it should approach to which of the following agency? The correct answer is NABARD. NABARD helps the state governments in reaching their targets of providing assistance to eligible institutions in agriculture and rural development. Which among the following sentence is incorrect regarding foreign currency non-resident accounts held in India? So the incorrect statement here is option C, which says that foreign currency non-resident or FCNR accounts can be maintained only in the form of current or savings account as well as term deposit. However, options A, B and D are correct. An account that can be opened with an Indian bank by a non-resident Indian or a person of Indian origin in a foreign currency is known as a FCNR account. So there's a silent B at the end too, the letter B or FCNR, and in brackets B stands for the word bank. It is an account that allows the NRI to keep their deposits in foreign currency. Hassles of conversion can be reduced through such types of accounts. On which date Jallianwala Massacre occurred? The correct answer is April 13, 1990. The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, also known as the Amritsar Massacre, took place on 13th April 1919 when troops of the British Indian Army under the command of Colonel Reginald Dyer fired rifles into a crowd of Punjabis who had gathered at Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar, Punjab to peacefully protest. The bilingual inscriptions of Ashoka involve which of the following two languages? The correct answer is Brahmi, Greek and Aramaic. Ashoka primarily used four scripts. The scripts used for Prakrit inscriptions were Brahmi and Kharoshthi, and for others Greek and Aramaic. The Jivaka, which is mentioned in Buddhist literature, was one among the following. Which one was it? So Jivaka means physician. Jivaka is the name of doctors during Buddha's time. What is the meaning of Kalibangan in Rajasthan, which shows the prehistoric and pre-Mauryan character of Indus Valley civilization? The correct answer is black bangles. Kalibangan literally means black bangles and is located in Pilibangan between Suratgarh and Hanumangarh in Hanumangarh district of Rajasthan. Kalibangan has given evidence of both pre-Harappan culture in the lower layer and Harappan civilization in the upper layer. Which was the second capital of Kanishka? The correct answer is Mathura. Kanishka's main capital was at Peshawar, which was then known as Purushpura, and region capitals at Taxila in Pakistan, Begram in Afghanistan, and Mathura in India. Mathura had a status of almost a second capital. Kumarasambhava is a Sanskrit epic poem written by Kalidas. It literally means birth of Kumar. Who was Kumar in this epic? The correct answer is Kartikeya. Kumarasambhavam is an epic poem by Kalidas and is widely regarded as one of his finest works, a paradigmatic example of Kavya poetry. It basically talks about the birth of Kumar Kartikeya, the son of Shiv and Parvati. The period of composition is uncertain, although Kalidas is thought to have lived in the 5th century. Kumarila Bhatta, who was a Hindu philosopher and scholar from Prayag, was an acharya of which of the following? The correct answer is Mimamsa. Kumarila Bhatta was a Hindu or Brahminical philosopher and Mimamsa scholar from medieval India. He is famous for many of his various theses on Mimamsa, such as Mimansloka Vartika. Bhatta was a staunch believer in the supreme validity of Vedic injunction, a great champion of Purva Mimamsa, and a confirmed ritualist. Who among the following referred Mahatma Gandhi as father of the nation? The correct answer is Subhash Chandra Bose. History holds that the title of father of the nation was given to Mahatma by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who in his address on Singapore radio on July 6, 1944, had addressed Mahatma Gandhi as the father of the nation. Queen Trishula was the name of mother of who? The correct answer is Mahavira. Mahavira, also known as Vardhamana, was the 24th Tirthankara who revived Jainism. In the Jain tradition, it is believed that Mahavira was born in the early part of the 6th century BC into a royal Kshatriya family in present-day Bihar, India. In which year, after defeating Jaipal, Mahmud of Ghazni proceeded to Gujarat, where he destroyed the temple of Somnath? The correct answer is 1024 AD. In 1024, during the reign of Bhim I, the prominent Turkic ruler Mahmud of Ghazni raided Gujarat, plundering the Somnath temple and breaking its Jyotirlinga, despite pleas by Brahmins not to break it. He took away a loot of 20 million dinars and later even boasted that he had killed 50,000 devotees. Which among the following is true regarding cyclones? The correct answer is that they rotate counterclockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. So for cyclones, there is pressure condition. At the center, there is low patterns of wind direction. In northern hemisphere, it is counterclockwise or anti-clockwise pattern of wind direction, whereas in southern hemisphere, it is clockwise pattern of wind direction. There are also entities known as anticyclones, where the pressure condition at the center is high and pattern of wind direction in northern hemisphere is clockwise, whereas in southern hemisphere it's anti-clockwise. Paleoclimatology is the study of what? Paleo is a word used for ancient. So the correct answer is ancient climates. Paleoclimatology is the study of past climates. Since it is not possible to go back in time to see what climates were like, scientists use imprints created during past climate, known as proxies, to interpret paleoclimate. Organisms such as diatoms, forams, and corals serve as useful climate proxies. Which of the following sentences define air mass correctly? The correct answer is that they are large volumes of air defined by temperature and water vapor content. So in meteorology, an air mass is a volume of air defined by its temperature and water vapor content. Air masses cover many hundreds or thousands of miles and adapt to the characteristics of the surface below them. They are classified according to latitude and their continental or maritime source regions. What fraction of Earth's total content or Earth's total water content is in the form of oceans? The correct answer is 97%. So, of the total volume of water on Earth, which is about 1.386 billion kilometer cube, with 97.5% is salt water and 2.5% is fresh water. Of the fresh water, only 0.3% is in liquid form of the surface. Rest are frozen in glaciers and otherwise. So this is why it's so important that we conserve fresh water, because we might think that most of Earth is water. However, consumable fresh water is very little in quantity. In which of the following situation lunar eclipse occurs? Correct answer is when Earth is between the Sun and the Moon. So basically what happens is Earth comes in between Sun and the Moon, and hence sunlight doesn't reach the Moon and Earth's shadow falls on the Moon. As a result, we can't see the Moon, which is a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse can occur only on the night of a full moon. A low pressure area in the atmosphere in which winds spiral inwards is known as cyclone. So, in meteorology, a cyclone is a large-scale air mass that rotates around a strong center of low atmospheric pressure. Cyclones are characterized by inward spiraling winds that rotate about a zone of low pressure. If you see the diagram, that center you can see, and there's a spiral that you can see that's going towards the center. That's a cyclone. A huge mass of ice fed by snow on a high mountain, slowly sliding downhill before it starts melting is what? Correct answer is glacier. A glacier is a large perennial accumulation of crystalline ice. Perennial as in it exists throughout the year. So it is made of crystalline ice, snow, rock, sediment and often liquid water that originates on land and moves down slope under the influence of its own weight and gravity. Which among the following country derives its name from a latitude? Correct answer is Ecuador. Ecuador is Spanish for equator. Equator being the latitude that divides the earth into half. Eskimos live in which of the following climates? The correct answer is the tundra climate. Eskimos or Inuit people have lived in the Arctic region, the tundra, where the climate is cold and too severe for trees to grow, for over 1,000 years. They have in fact adapted biologically to their environment via adaptation to foods. In geography of horizon, P horizon, A horizon are layers of which of the following? Correct answer being soils. If we take a bit of land and look at the soil, we find that it consists of 3 layers which are called horizons. If you see the diagram, you can see the strict division between the different layers. So these are the horizons. Polycythemia is a disease related to what? The correct answer is red blood cells. Polycythemia is an abnormal increase in concentration of hemoglobin in the blood, either through reduction of plasma volume or increase in red cell numbers. It may be a primary disease of unknown cause or a secondary condition linked to respiratory or circulatory disorder or even cancer. Gout, which is usually followed or accompanied by arthritis, is characterized by high levels of uric acid in the blood, and uric acid crystals become lodged in the joints. It is a what kind of disorder? The correct answer is it's a metabolic disorder. Gout is considered a type of arthritis in which small crystals form inside and around the joints. It causes sudden attacks of severe pain and swelling. It's estimated that between 1 and 2 in every 100 people is affected by gout. The condition mainly affects men over 30 and women after menopause. Diabetes insipidus is caused by a deficiency of arginine vasopressin or AVP, also known as antidiuretic hormone or ADH. This hormone is secreted by which endocrine gland? The correct answer is pituitary gland or hypophysis. So, diabetes insipidus occurs when the kidneys cannot concentrate the urine normally and a large amount of dilute urine is excreted. The amount of water excreted in urine is controlled by the antidiuretic hormone. ADH is also called vasopressin, as we learned in the question itself. And this kind of diabetes causes a lack of ADH, and it is called the central diabetes insipidus. Down syndrome is also known as what? The correct answer is Mongolism. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder caused by the presence of all or part of a third copy of chromosome 21, which is why it is also known as trisomy 21. Down syndrome is the most common chromosome abnormality in humans, and it is typically associated with a delay in cognitive ability, that is mental retardation, and physical growth, and a particular set of facial characteristics. The maximum number of candidates an EVM machine can support is 64. An EVM can record a maximum of 3,840 votes and can cater to a maximum of 64 candidates. There is provision for 16 candidates in a single balloting unit, and up to a maximum of 4 units can be connected in parallel. The conventional ballot paper or box method of polling is used if the number of candidates exceeds 64. Regarding the start questions asked during question hour of Parliament, which among the following is true? The correct answer is that oral answer is required to be given by the minister on the floor of the House, and supplementary questions may be asked on the minister's reply. So they have to answer on spot. Whoever has the floor will answer on spot, and any follow-up question may be asked to him or her based on their reply. So start question is the part of question hour in Lok Sabha, and generally the first hour of a sitting of Lok Sabha is devoted to questions, and the hour is called question hour. It has a special significance in the proceedings of the Parliament, and only 20 questions can be listed for oral answer on a day. So the maximum number of start questions that can be asked are 20. Which among the following is true about the sequence of question hour and 0 hour? The correct answer is the day's business normally starts with question hour and 0 hour follows the question hour. So the time immediately following the question hour has come to be known as 0 hour. It starts at around 12 noon, hence the name, and members with prior notice to the speaker raise issues of importance during this time. If a member is absent himself or herself from the Parliament for dash days without permission of the House, his or her seat may be declared vacant. The correct answer is 60 days. So, as per Article 104(1) of the Constitution, members have to be on continuous leave for 60 days to attract disqualification. So, if an MP is absent for 60 days without taking permission from the Speaker, or without informing the cause behind their non-availability in the House, the Speaker has every legal right to disqualify that MP. A government has to resign if the no confidence motion is passed where? The correct answer is only Lok Sabha. In India, a motion of no confidence can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, that is the lower house of the Parliament of India, or the house that represents the people of India. If a majority of the members of the House vote in favor of the motion is passed and the government has to vacate the office. What is the ISO code for Indian rupee? The correct answer is ISO 4217. ISO 4217 is a standard first published by International Organization for Standardization in 1978, which delineates currency designators, country codes, whether it's alpha or numeric, and references to minor units. In which of the following situations net exports are negative? The correct answer is when import is more than export. When exports are lower than imports, net exports are negative. If a nation exports, say, 100 billion rupee worth of goods and imports 80 billion, it has net exports of 20 billion. The amount gets added to the country's GDP. The association of Indian rupee with pound sterling was broken in which year? The correct answer is 1990. The rupee was partially floated on 1st March 1992. Which among the following is correct regarding the relationships of balance of payments and capital movements? Correct answer is balance of payments is affected by capital movements. So the connection between trade balances and international flow of financial capital is so close that the balance of trade is sometimes described as balance of payments. Each category of the current account balance involves a corresponding flow of payments between a given country and the rest of the world economy. The rural credit in India has been institutionalized truly since? The correct answer is inception of cooperative movement. Rural credit cooperatives are the oldest and the most extensive form of rural institutional financing in India. The major thrust of these cooperatives in the area of agricultural credit is the prevention of exploitation of the peasants by moneylenders. So these cooperative banks actually help the farmers get loans without being exploited by enormous interest that is usually levied on them by private moneylenders. Swiss accounts are considered safe and secure as Switzerland maintained neutrality in both world wars. But it's not a member of the European Union and was not given a membership of the United Nations until which year? The correct answer is 2002. So, banking law of 1934 made it a criminal act for a Swiss bank to reveal the name of the account holder, which is why Swiss bank secrecy protects the privacy of bank's clients. The protections afforded under Swiss law are similar to the confidentiality protections between doctors and patients or lawyers and their client. So, under no circumstances without a court order can the bank be forced to give up the name of the clients. Most of the time, it is the economic policy adopted by the government before recession which determines what type of recession it is. A wrongly calibrated economic policy may lead to L-shaped recession, which is the worst of all. What is correct regarding L-shaped recession? The correct answer is that it is a recession that goes down and then stays there for a long period of time without a recovery. So basically, L-shaped recession is very hard to recover from and get the economy back in order. There are other types of recession as well. For example, U-shaped recession goes down slowly and then stays there for a few years before recovering. And then there is V-shaped recession, which goes down slowly and then stays there for many years before recovering. Which among the following taxes does not increase the price of commodity for buyers? The correct answer is income tax. The price effect is the impact of the market based on how the consumer is spending money as a result of income effect. So any taxation on income does not really affect the market's commodity prices. Which among the following is true regarding NNP? NNP is net national product. The correct answer is it is GNP or gross national product minus depreciation. So net national product refers to gross national product, that is the total market value of all final goods and services produced by the factors of production of a country or other polity during a given time period minus whatever depreciation took place. What is the correct full form of Nefas? The correct full form is National Fund for Unorganized Sector. So, National Fund for Unorganized Sector, what it does is it helps small industries develop. There's actually a bank called the Small Industries Development Bank of India, which has a special cell for providing refinance to banks for further lending to micro or unorganized sectors. What is the main use of bisphenol A drug? The correct answer is a chemical compound which is used in plastics used for food packaging. So bisphenol A is an organic synthetic compound belonging to a group of diphenylmethane derivatives and bisphenols with two hydroxyphenyl groups. It is a colorless solid that is soluble in organic solvents but poorly soluble in water. As per the National Population Policy of India 2000, by which year the government aims to achieve the long-term objective of population stability? The correct answer is 2045. So NPP provides a policy framework for achieving goals and prioritizing strategies during the next decade to meet the reproductive and child health needs of the people of India, along with the target to achieve the net replacement levels, that is the total fertility rate. So by controlling the health and the fertility rate, we can control the population of the country. The cultivation of which among the following plants on wastelands has a potential to generate biofuel in large quantities? The correct answer is Jatropha curcus. So this is a plant which can be used to harvest crude oil. So crude oil harvested from Jatropha seeds needs to be processed into a diesel before it can even begin to compete with other energy sources. Jatropha biodiesel is the processed form of Jatropha oil and it gets its power from the energy-rich bonds found in fatty acids and methyl esters. The Orange Prize for Fiction is one of United Kingdom's most prestigious literary prizes. Who among the following is eligible to receive the prize? The correct answer is female author of any nationality for the best original full-length novel written in English and published in the United Kingdom. So this is a women's prize for fiction and is one of the most prestigious literary prizes in the United Kingdom. And it is awarded to any female author of any nationality. The only condition is the novel has to be written in English and it has to be published in the United Kingdom. Which among the following is true about JAXA? The correct answer is it is abbreviation of Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. So JAXA is the Japanese National Aerospace and Space Agency. Through the merger of three previously independent organizations, it was formed on 1st October 2003. Which among the following are called Dharam Chakra? The correct answer is the chakra with 24 spokes in the central white band and Indian flag. So the Ashoka Chakra. The Dharma Chakra is a symbol from ancient India and one of the Ashtamangala of Hinduism, Jainism and Buddhism. The Dharma of wheel symbol has represented Buddhism, Gautam Buddha's teaching and his walking of the path to enlightenment since the time of early Buddhism. Recently, cultivation of which of the following plants was in news? It is a source of methane. The correct answer is paddy. So, at between 50 and 100 million tons of methane a year is produced because of rice agriculture and is possibly one of the biggest sources of man-made methane. The following hills present where Eastern Ghat and Western Ghats meet. So if you look at the map, you can see that it's Nilgiris. So the correct answer is Nilgiri Hills. They constitute the meeting point of the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. The Nilgiri is often referred to as Nilgiri Hills and are a range of mountains with at least 24 peaks above 2000 meters in the westernmost part of Tamil Nadu at the junction of Karnataka and Kerala in southern India. Manas River is a tributary of which of the following rivers? The correct answer is Brahmaputra River. Manas is a major tributary of Brahmaputra River flowing through Assam. It is named after Manasa, the serpent god in Hindu mythology. Saltwater crocodiles in India are extremely rare in most areas of India, but are very common in which of the following parts? So it's very common in Orissa and Sundarbans. A saltwater crocodile or Crocodilus porosus is a crocodilian native to saltwater habitats and brackish wetlands of India's east coast across South Asia and the Sundaik region to northern Australia and Micronesia. What is the maximum permissible time gap between two sessions of Parliament? The correct answer is 6 months. A session is the period between the commencement of the House sitting and prorogation, dissolution, or end of normal term. The maximum gap between two such sittings should not be more than 6 months. That means the Parliament should meet at least twice a year. Who among the following is responsible for devising the best ways to utilize available resources of states? The correct answer is zonal councils. Zonal councils are advisory councils and are made up of states of India that have been grouped into 6 zones, as you can see on that map, to foster cooperation among them. 5 zonal councils were set up during Part 3 of States Reorganization Act of 1956. Who among the following supervises the Lok Sabha Secretariat? The correct answer is Lok Sabha Speaker. While the office of the Speaker is vacant due to absence or resignation or removal, these same duties are performed by the Deputy Speaker, or if the Deputy Speaker is also unavailable, by such members of the House of People as the President may appoint for the purpose. A judge of Supreme Court who wishes to relinquish his job before expiry of his term will address the resignation to the President. The President himself, when he resigns to the Vice President, whereas all other high-ranking officials usually submit their resignation to the President himself. A judge of the Supreme Court can be removed from his or her office by President on the basis of a resolution passed by which of the House by 2/3 majority. The correct answer is both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So a judge of Supreme Court can be removed from the position by President only on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. The power of the investigation and proof of such misbehavior is vested in the Parliament. Who among the following has power to remove a judge of High Court? The correct answer is President on the basis of resolution by Parliament. Again, this is because the President remains an honorary head of state in India and can only decide based on whatever decision is already taken by elected representatives. The term diarchy was used in Government of India 1919. It was a first step towards which of the following? The correct answer is local self-government. Under this act, the local self-government became provincial and transferred subject under a responsible Indian minister. On which date Indian Independence Act 1947 came into effect? The correct answer is July 18, 1947. The Indian Independence Act was based upon the Mountbatten Plan of 3rd June 1947 and was passed by the British Parliament in July 1947. So it was passed on July 5th, but it received royal assent on July 18th. Which among the following is a true character of Indian Constitution? The correct answer is that it's federal in form and unitary in spirit. Another term that is often used is quasi-federal. So the Constitution of India is considered federal in nature and unitary in spirit. It has features of a federation and unitary features such as a single constitution, single citizenship, and an integrated judiciary, a flexible constitution, a strong central government, appointment of state governors by central government, all India services and emergency provisions. This unique combination makes it quasi-federal in form. Which among the following features of Indian Constitution is not borrowed from the British Constitution? Among this list, the correct answer is concurrent list. So, concurrent list has been borrowed from the Constitution of Australia. The meaning of Mohenjo-Daro is Mound of the Dead. The same meaning is expressed by which of the following names? The correct answer is Lothal. Lothal, when broken down into two Gujarati words Loth and Sthal, it means the mound of the dead. Now, this is one of the southernmost cities of ancient Indus Valley civilization, and it is located in modern-day Gujarat in its Bhal region. Lothal is said to have been first inhabited during the 37,000 BCE. Now, this name, although it sounds depressing, is not unusual because Mohenjo-Daro in Sindhi also means the same. Which of the following charter acts abolished the monopoly of the East India Company to trade with China? Correct answer is Charter Act of 1833. It is also known as the St. Helena Act or Government of India Act 1833. It was passed by the British Parliament to renew the Charter of East India Company, which was last renewed in 1813 before that. Via this act, the charter was renewed for 20 years, but the East India Company was deprived of its commercial privileges, which it enjoyed so far. Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, which form the base of Government of India Act 1919, introduced which of the following in India? Correct answer is diarchy. So these reforms, briefly known as Montfort reforms, were reforms introduced by the colonial government in British India to introduce self-governing institutions gradually to India. The Government of India Act 1990 was an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom. It was passed to expand participation of Indians in the Government of India. The Act embodied the reforms recommended in the report of Secretary of State for India Edwin Montagu and the Viceroy Lord Chelmsford. Which of the following authorities lays down a priority of inheritance which places the wife followed by daughters immediately after sons? Correct answer is Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya lists widow after son and daughters following her in case of no son. Madurai was the capital of which of the following dynasties? Correct answer is Pandyas. The Pandyan dynasty was the ancient Tamil dynasty of South India, one of the three Tamil dynasties, the other two being Chola and Chera. The kings of the three dynasties were referred to as the three crowned kings of Tamilakam. The early Pandyans ruled parts of southern India from at least 4th century BC. Mir Bakshi was the officer in Akbar's reign with which of the following responsibilities? Correct answer is he was the head of military and administration. The head of military was called the Mir Bakshi, appointed from among the leading nobles of the court. The Mir Bakshi was in charge of intelligence gathering and also made recommendations to the emperor for military appointments and promotions. So Mir Bakshi is actually a title, it's not a name. The following Chalukya king performed an Ashwamedha Yajna. The correct answer is Pulkesin I. Pulkesin or Pulkesin I was the first sovereign ruler of Chalukya dynasty of Vatapi. He ruled parts of the present Maharashtra and Karnataka states in the western Deccan region of India. He established the city of Vatapi and performed Ashwamedh sacrifice to assert his sovereign status. Vasucharita is a work of which of the following? Correct answer is Ram Raja. Ram Raja or Ram Raja Bhushanandu, who was a Telugu poet and notable musician, was one of the Astadikgajas or a collective title for Telugu poets in the court of Krishnadeva Raya of Vijayanagar Empire. So he was one of the court poets of Krishnadeva Raya of Vijayanagar. Who has written the biography of Harshavardhana? Correct answer is Banbhatra. The biography is called Harsha Charita or Deeds of Harsha, and it is the biography of Indian Emperor Harsha by Banabhatta, also known as Bana, who was a Sanskrit writer of 7th century CE India. He was the Ashtana Kavi, meaning court poet of Harsha. Harsha Charita was the first composition of Bana and is considered to be the beginning of writing of historical poetic works in Sanskrit language. The following were the immediate successors of imperial Mauryas. Correct answer is Shungas. The Shunga Empire was an ancient Indian dynasty from Magad that controlled areas of the central and eastern Indian subcontinent from around 187 to 78 BCE. The dynasty was established by Pushyamitra Shunga after the fall of the Maurya Empire. Which among the following is Central National Agency responsible for receiving, processing, analyzing and disseminating information relating to suspect financial transactions to enforcement agencies and foreign agencies. That is, any suspected financial transaction which it looks like it's not legal or might be illegal in any way is reported by this agency. And the agency is Financial Intelligence Unit India, or FIU India. It is the Central National Agency of India responsible for receiving, processing, analyzing, and disseminating information relating to suspected financial transactions. It is also responsible for coordinating and strengthening efforts of national and international intelligence, investigation, and enforcement agencies in pursuing the global efforts against money laundering, related crimes, and terrorist financing. Many a times we read in newspapers about pipe deals. Which among the following is a correct expansion of pipe deals? Correct answer is private investments in public equity. So what is that? A private investment in public equity, which is often called a pipe deal, involves the selling of publicly traded common shares or some form of preferred stock or convertible security to private investors. It is an allocation of shares in a public company, not through a public offering in a stock exchange. So this is basically buying of shares privately without actually going through the normal market. Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interests Act, which is popularly known as SAFESI Act, was enacted in which of the following years? Correct answer is 2002. This act, as we know, is Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest Act 2002. Banks utilize this act as an effective tool for bad loans, and they use this act to recover bad loans or non-performing assets. It is possible when non-performing assets are backed by securities. Camper Fund is related to which of the following? Correct answer is Environment Protection by Industries. So, Environment Protection, Compensatory Afforestation Management and Planning Authority. So, this is what CAMPA is, Compensatory Afforestation Management and Planning Authority. It's a fund that was created in 2004 to ensure that industrial units using forest lands deposit the net value of the diverted forest land with state governments for afforestation. Uniform Recall Period, or URP, and Mixed Recall Period, or MRP, are the methods to measure which of the following? The correct answer is poverty ratio. Until 1993-94, consumption information collected by the National Sample Survey Organization was based on URP, which measured consumption across a 30-day recall period. That is, survey respondents were asked about their consumption in the previous 30 days. From 1999 to 2000 onwards, the NSSO switched to a method known as Mixed Reference Period. The MRP measures consumptions of 5 low-frequency items such as clothes, daily usage like shampoos and stuff, which are low-frequency items, over the previous year, and all other items over the previous 30 days. When the number of new workers entering the labor force through natural increase or inward migration exceeds the number of leaving the workforce, then what type of unemployment is that? So the condition is that more people are joining the workforce than those who are retiring or leaving. This is known as demographic unemployment. In which of the following years National Project on Cattle and Buffalo Breeding was launched? The correct answer is 2000. So genetic improvement in bovines is a long-term activity, and Government of India has initiated a major program called National Project for Cattle and Buffalo Breeding from October 2000 over a period of 10 years in 2 phases, each of 5 years. Self-help groups or SHG bank linkage program is related to which of the following? As we can tell, it is microfinance. So it focuses on rural poor who have no sustained access to the formal banking system. It has emerged as a major microfinance program in the recent years. So it helps those people who cannot find financing through our usual banking systems. TRIPS is related to which of the following? The correct answer is intellectual property. TRIPS, the full form is Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights. It's an agreement, an international legal agreement between all the member nations of World Trade Organization. It sets down minimum standards for the regulation by national governments of many forms of intellectual property as applied to nationals of other WTO or World Trade Organization member nations. Demand pull factors and cost push factors are factors involved in what phenomena? Correct answer is price rise. The price rise is the increase in price of commodities in our day-to-day life. Demand pull inflation is asserted to arise when aggregate demand in an economy outpaces aggregate supply. So what happens is, suppose there is a dearth of potato production in the country, but a lot more people now want to buy potatoes. As a result, the price of the potatoes will rise up. This is known as demand pull inflation. Cost push inflation is inflation caused by an increase in prices of inputs like labor, raw material, etc. So cost push is when raw material prices increase. So suppose your clothes are costlier because say cotton prices have increased. That is cost push inflation. And all of this contribute to rise in price of daily commodities. Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development is situated in which of the following states? The correct answer is Tamil Nadu. The Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Sri Perumbudur, Tamil Nadu, is an institution of national importance by the Act of Parliament number 35 of the year 2012 under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India. It was set up in 1993 under the Societies Registration Act of 1975. The Government of India recognizes 7 to 9 January as the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas since 2003. Which of the following events is known to occur on 9 January? Correct answer is arrival of Mahatma Gandhi in India from South Africa. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is a celebratory day observed on 9 January by the Republic of India to mark the contribution of the overseas Indian community towards the development of India. The day commemorates the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to Mumbai on 9th of January 1915. Which of the following place of Andhra Pradesh is well known for a Buddhi stupa? The correct answer is Amravati. Amravati is known as Dhanyakataka or Dharanikota, and it was the site of a great Buddhi stupa built in the pre-Mauryan times. Mon in Nagaland, Nalbari in Assam, Pasighat in Arunachal Pradesh and Tura in Meghalaya are known for which of the following activities? The correct answer is they are centers of handicap. Nagaland is a home to around 16 tribes who have long perfected the art of creating magnificent items from very little resources. Assam is one of the major craft centers in northeastern region of India and is one of the pioneers in silk industry. One can find a plethora of bamboo and cane handicrafts along with wood carving and carpet weaving by different inhabiting tribes in Arunachal Pradesh as well as Meghalaya. Which among the following sentence is or are correct? Among the options given, only option B is correct. That is, Indian Constitution does not provide a proper definition for backward classes. Article 39 of our Constitution says that while framing policies, state would strive to provide adequate means of livelihood, equal pay for equal work, resource distribution, safety of citizens, and healthy development of children. Which among the following is correct? The correct option here is that vitamin C, which is also called ascorbic acid, can be replaced with citric acid in our food. So, vitamin C is ascorbic acid, but citric acid is not, it's different. Both citric acid and ascorbic acid occur naturally in citrus fruits, leading to a confusion between the two. Both ascorbic acid and citric acid are used extensively as food additives because they are very cheap to manufacture synthetically. The speed of sound is maximum in which of the following? Correct answer is in water. So the speed of sound kind of increases with the density of the material. In a given ideal gas, the speed of sound depends only on its temperature. The speed of sound in still air at 0 degrees Celsius is about 331.5 meter per second. It depends on the temperature and the material. Since sound is transferred easily through densely packed molecules, it is faster in denser substances. Thus, the speed of sound increases with the stiffness of the material. During the revolt of 1857, who among the following was betrayed by a zamindar friend and captured while asleep by Britishers and put to death? The correct answer is Tatya Tope. He was an important figure in the 1857 revolt. His full name is Ramchandra Pandurang Tope, but he is better known as Tatya Tope and was born in 1840 in present-day Nashik district of Maharashtra. He was killed on 18th April 1859. During the revolt of 1857, Tatya Tope was among the closest military aides of Nana Sahib. The East India Company was given a permission to set up a factory in Masulipatanam in which year? Correct answer is 1611. The British established a factory in Masulipatanam in 1611, while it is said that it is their first factory in South India, implying that it is not the first one in India. The Taxila or Takshashila was located between following two rivers. So which are the two rivers between which Takshashila was located? The correct answer is Indus and Jhelum. Takshila is an important archaeological site of the ancient Indian subcontinent located in the city of Takshila in Punjab, Pakistan. It lies about 32 km northwest of Islamabad and Rawalpindi, just off the famous Grand Trunk Road. That's all for today's quiz. Until the next video, goodbye.